Hey guys, Inder this side from 24/7 Everything. Hope you all are doing great. We are again back with another video, and this time it's on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 related to a new custom ROM, that is Razer Kirshen Remix. So this particular ROM is Android 10 based, and you can verify the same on my phone screen. Apart to this, the maintainer is Danish1999 and build type is official. Apart to this, build number is like Razer Kirshen Remix build number is 8.5.8, and I'll let you know that this is a second build, or I would say like second after the initial one. So there are some bugs and so on which we will be covering each and every part in this particular video, and this video will surely be a lengthy one as well, but I'll try my level best to cover each and every part. Apart to this, security patch level of 5 August 2020, and a part of this kernel version is 4.4.230 Vortex, and then build date is August 20. And before that I was using the very initial version of this particular ROM, which was again with the 8.5.8, but that was a initial one. So afterward I got the FOTA update using the FOTA updater. So again, the good thing is that FOTA updater is also working fine, so there is no problem with that. So anyone whosoever will be going to use this from now onwards, so each and every time whenever developer will be publishing FOTA update, this will be directly seeded here and it will be installing it. So after FOTA updater, there is one more section in the system section itself, that is gestures. So these are like touchscreen gesture. You can use any gesture. Like at my side, I am using gesture C to open the camera. So it is working absolutely fine. You can also configure like gesture V, W, Z, S, E, and whatsoever you want to use it. And after gesture, there is one more option related to system navigation. So for the videos purpose, I always use 3 button. But if you want to use 2 button gesture navigation whatsoever, you can select it and it will work it accordingly. So after system section, now let's move to the security section. So in this, pin, pattern, password, swipe, all are working absolutely fine. Apart to this, fingerprint scanner and face unlock is also working fine, but there is a latency in both the, like be it fingerprint scanner or face unlock, there is little bit 1 millisecond of latency, and that can be optimized in the next version. There is not a big problem with that. And apart to this, in each and every section you will be seeing these animations and so on. After security, now let's move to the storage section. The good part is that being the initial, or I would say second version, so there is no problem with the storage section. In some of the ROMs which are being already released 7 to 8 versions with the Android 10, they are still having problems with the portable storage, be it your SD card and so on. But with this ROM, it is working absolutely fine. So again, and even let me tell you that I am a fanboy of Razer Kirshen Remix. So I will try my level best to provide you unbiased review of this particular ROM, and you will able to know that by the time I'll be giving my overall review score for the same. So after storage section, now let's move to the sound or volume. Again, it is almost same which we are getting in stock ROM version 061 or 084. So there is no problem with the sound. So once whoever using versions of firmware version 061 or 084, they will be able to distinguish that like the sound is almost the same that they are getting in stock ROM and so on. But apart to this, developer has provided audio effects app that we will be covering in the later section. So after sound, now let's move to the display section, and in display section we will be first moving to the lock screen display, and here we will be moving to the when to show. So basically always on or AOD, it is already provided and it is working absolutely fine. Let me turn it on and I'll show you. I'm just going to lock in my phone, and afterward you are able to show or view this particular clock, then date, day, and battery percentage and so on. Apart to this, there is a problem with the new notification part, like whenever you are getting some notification in terms of SMS, WhatsApp message and so on, so it is not showing you that particular. I have turned it on and tried numerous times, but again, if you are using this ROM and you are able to get this, then do let me know. Maybe I might have skipped something, but I have tried my level best to see where or whatsoever I can do to work this out. Apart to this, there is one option with the name pocket detection. So if I'm not wrong, there is one subscriber or user, or I would say active user with name Geek MSN or Geeky MSN. Sorry if I am pronouncing your name as a wrong one or so on. So he always asks that, brother, please check pocket detection. So with this particular ROM, it's a mixed response. Sometimes it's working and sometimes it's not working. So again, I will emphasize, whenever you will be testing this particular ROM, if it is working 100% at your side, then do let me know, and I will try the same at my side with the next version and will provide you my feedback on the same. So after display section, now let's move to the most critical and vital part, that is related to the battery. So firstly, we'll start with the battery charging time. The best part of this ROM is that fast charging. So it took nearly about 2 hours and 54 minutes at most to fully charge my phone from 0 to 100%, and I have tried or analyzed this for like nearly about 3 different times. Once I got 252, once 253, and 254 was the last, or I would say the highest time I have noticed in terms of battery charging. That's why I'm giving my analysis on the basis of that. So you can consider 2 hours or 55 minutes, that is under 3 hours, your phone will be fully charged from 0 to 100. Again, the good thing is that I'm not using the default charger shipped with this particular phone. I'm using the 10-watt compatible charger, so that I won't be getting I don't have to wait for 4 hours to fully charge my phone, sometimes 5 hours and so on. So now let's talk about the ideal battery drainage. So again, I have noticed down this for the like at least 2 to 3 days. At most, whatsoever I have found is that 5 to 6% battery was draining over a span of 8 to 9 hours. One day, like I got nearly about 4 to 5 over a span of 10 to 11 hours. But like I always say that I always analyze for 2 to 3 different days, so that I can get the actual average of all those days. Because sometimes if you have flashed the ROM, then your battery cycle or battery refresh will not be working on a very first day. So you have to like analyze for next 2 to 3 days. So at most, whatsoever I am discussing here is the one whatsoever I have felt at my side or analyze. Now let's focus from the gaming's perspective. So for that, let me open the PUBG Mobile first. So now we will be discussing from a gaming's perspective in terms of lagging or battery consumption and so on. So for both the game, I have felt a very minimal lag in one of my gaming session. So not sure whether it was because of the Wi-Fi connection and so on, but this is what I have encountered on my side. So I was using these graphic rate settings and frame rate settings. So HD graphics and high frame rate. Again, I have played a 1 hour of gameplay. So during 1 hour of gameplay, 13 to 14% of battery was consumed. So this is really good, that it is a very good percentage in terms of overall HD graphics and high frame rate. And apart of this, I've also noted down the temperature reading. So before starting the gameplay, the temperature of my phone was 33 degree, and as soon as I completed it gameplay of 1 hour, the temperature of my phone was 38 degree. Now let's focus to the Call of Duties part. So again, I was using these graphic quality as a medium and high frame rate. Again, 1 hour of gameplay to analyze. So overall battery consumption was nearly about 16 to 17%, which is little bit higher as compared to the PUBG Mobile with respect to graphic quality and so on. And but I have seen that Call of Duty is always taking a lot of battery consumption with respect to other custom ROMs as well. And apart to this, I have also noted down the temperature reading. So again, the same 33 degree before starting the gameplay, and as soon as I completed, it was 39 degree. So overall, like temperature of my phone was under 40 degree. So it usually depends upon the air ventilation of a room and so on, whatsoever other parameters. So maybe at your side you might be touching 40, 41 and so on. So that's not a problem. Even we are in a summer season. So after battery, now let's move to the connected devices. So again, I always prefer two things to test here. One is Bluetooth and another is screencasting. The bad thing is that screencasting is not working, and I've tested this on 2 to 3 different laptop, and each and every time it was not able to connect. So most probably this will be rectified in the next version by developer, and I've already posted this in the I would say Telegram help group for the same part. And apart to this Bluetooth, it is working absolutely fine, be it for the file transfer or either audio via Bluetooth devices. So after connected devices, now let's move to the network and internet. So in network and internet, the good thing is that Wi-Fi calling is available for Jio and Airtel, and it is working absolutely fine for both the scenarios or both the SIMs. Apart to this native video call, yes, it is not working again, and I'm not sure when and how we will be getting this for any of the custom ROM. Although some of the custom ROMs have already have patches for the same, but I never tried it frankly. But whenever I'll get a chance, I'll surely try and I'll create a post a new video on that as well. Apart to this call recorder, yes, it is available and it is working absolutely fine. Apart to this Wi-Fi connectivity, so this time on this particular ROM, again I have seen little bit issue in terms of connectivity in Wi-Fi. So as again I'm saying that this is again an initial build, or I would say second build after initial build, so we can consider some of the bugs. But apart of this, I haven't faced any issue in calls, SMS, mobile internet. All are working absolutely fine, so there is no problem at all. So now let's move to the major part, that is the advanced customization. So for which this particular ROM is being known. So like you are able to view status bar, panels, systems, animation, interface, miscellaneous, and so on. So I'll be again discussing only the vital parts in this particular video. So let's start first with the status bar, and first we'll start with the clock and date. So firstly, it's your wish whether to enable clock or not. If I'll disable it, it will be disabled from the live, like it will be hidden. If I'll enable, it will again be shown here. Afterward, the clock position. So by default, it is left clock. If I'll do right clock, then it will be moved to here. If I'll do center clock, then it will be displayed here and so on. So it's always best to keep it on left hand side. Again, AM and PM, do you want to show normal font, small font, then PM would be small, and so on. So these are the minor things. If you want to show seconds, then you can even take it and it will show you second as well. So all in all, they have provided each and every bit. A part of this date, do you want to show? Yes, small, so they are showing May, Monday, and so on, normal font size, and so. And a part of this, you can even customize the date field and so on. So after clock and date, now its next part is related to network and traffic, and it is working absolutely fine. So I've just selected location as a status bar. You can disable it. So at this moment there are plenty of icons, that's why it is not showing. So it is working absolutely fine. There is no problem with that. The third part is related to battery. So again, like battery style, do you want to show battery style like icon, portrait, and so on, whatsoever you want to? Do you want to show percentage enable? So that's why it's available here and so. After this system icon, so by default, do you want to show these icon like VoLTE icon? Do you want to override VoLTE with the Wi-Fi, like this is showing me Wi-Fi? So these are the icons. So if I'll changing VoLTE icon now, so it will be changing there. If I'll sorry, I have selected Wi-Fi icon. So if I'll be changing now, or I would say Wi-Fi calling, so you will see this hasn't changed. If I'll revert back, then it will be this. So on the basis of 2 3 value, it will be changing. Afterward, you can move to the status bar tuner. Here you can select the icons to be displayed here. So let's say if I am been turning out Wi-Fi for now, so it will be hidden from here. Now you are able to view that network because we got the ample space. So if I'll again turn it on, then it will be again visible and so on. So after status bar, now let's move to the panels, and in panels, the very first thing is related to quick settings. So here you can select or change column counts in terms of quick settings and so on. So like I'm viewing 5 columns, 3 rows, and by default it will be showing me 6 here and so on. So these are the settings, so you can manipulate here. So afterward you will find one more options, or I would say plenty of other options in this particular quick setting. It is related to the brightness controller or a location of a brightness slider. So by default I'm using bottom, but if you want to change, you can make it as on top, and it will be displayed here as on top, but I prefer always like bottom. So after quick settings under panels, now let's move to the recent, and I really like this part because this is a slim recent part. So by default, if I'll be clicking on recent, it will be showing me like this. But if I'll be turning it on now you will see the recent in a slim way. So this is what I have opened in my background. So I can even like, let me show you here. If I want to get rid of something, I can just close it and it will be removed. In the same sense, if I'll now turn it off, it will again show me all those recent apps. So if you want to use, you can use it. So it is really a nice feature here. Afterward, the last section in panel is volume panel. So by default, if I'll be clicking on volume panel, it will be showing me on the right hand side, but there is an option like, do you want to show on left? Then it will be displayed here whenever I'll be clicking here. So it is showing me here. And again, there are a bunch of things in the volume panel itself. You can test and try those things. So after panel, now let's move to the system section. So the very first thing is related to the accent pickers. So just tap it here. And let me show you. By default, this is an accent picker. So if I'll be accent color, if I'll be changing something in terms of green, and let me apply it. Now it will be applied system wide. It will take a time. So now you can view that accent color from blue to green and so on. In the same sense, you can change gradient color and so on. So after accent picker, the second thing is buttons and navigation. So very first thing is navigation bar. Do you want to toggle it? If I'll off it, then it will be removed from the below section. If I'll turn it on, again it will be visible here. System navigation, again the same thing, gesture, two button, and that we have already like discussed in the system part. Apart to this layout, so by default it is normal. I can compact it and it will be this part. I can do left leaning, and even I can do right leaning, and everything is working. But in some cases you will see that it is not working, like left leaning is not working, compact, and so on. So sometime it is working and sometime it is not working. That's why I've said that there are a lot of bugs. So like when I was testing, it was working, but during this video part it is not. So it is only working for the right leaning. Okay, apart to this, there is another option like invert layout. So I can click it here, and now recent will be like shifted or shuffle with the back button and back with the recent. Again, turn it off and it will be working like this. And again, you can view bunch of options here and you can play with it, like what do you want to do with the long press and back button, home button, and so on. So after button and navigation, now let's move to the power dialog. So here you will see one option or a section with name as button. So by default I've selected all these. Now let me show you my power button menu. So it is listing me all these things. Let me remove lockdown and that will be removed from here. So it has been removed. So in the same sense, you can turn it on whatsoever you want and turn it off whatsoever you don't want. So after system, now let's move to the interface. So in interface, you will see one option as an edge lighting or pulse lighting, but again, it is not working at my side. Again, whenever you will be using this, if it is working, then do let us know in the comment section below, so that it will be beneficial for other users as well. But apart to this, you will see one more option like RR themes of Razer, or I would say Razer Cushion Remix themes. So you can just click it here. By default, if I'll be first selecting dark theme, it will be selecting my dark theme, and afterward I have an option to change these themes, like let me do dark gray. So you will see the changes in terms of theme. So I will really prefer you to like test this particular thing as well, or a section as well. Afterward, you will see one more option related to gaming mode. So by default, you have to turn it on, and afterward you can play those games whatsoever, like PUBG Mobile, Call of Duty, any other battle royale, or any other graphic intensive app, or whatsoever you want. It will surely be giving you some sort of preference in terms of running that process in the background. So after interface, now let's move to the miscellaneous part. And in miscellaneous, the best thing is related to the, so in miscellaneous, you will find this particular option, which is 3-finger gesture. So basically for a screenshot. So if I'll turn it off, then if I'll do that part, then it will not work. So you have to turn it on. So let me remind you once again, in interface, you have to move to the miscellaneous rather than this. Sorry, I was referring this part. So you have to move to interface and afterward to the miscellaneous section. So this was all from the Razer Cushion tools point of view or advanced customization. Now let's move to the home screen. So the very first thing is related to the home settings. So let me show you. So the good thing is that inbuilt app locker, so hidden and protected. So let me use my fingerprint scan and it will list my all those apps, and you can turn like either lock it or you can hide it, and it is working absolutely fine. There is no bummer, there is no problem with that. Now let's move to the quick settings part. So all the major, minor, simple, advanced, all functionalities have been, or I would say quick settings have been provided by the developer, but I am just using the needed ones. But I can show you by clicking on edit button you can see plenty of other options. So whatsoever you want to use you can turn it on. But there is bummer with few of the settings, like ambient display is not working, which I've already covered in display section as well. But good thing is that screen recorder is working, be it for internal audio, be it for audio like external audio. There is no problem with that. AOD is working absolutely fine. Dark theme toggle is working absolutely fine, and there are many more sections that you can use. And gaming mode setting is also provided here, so you can turn it on and so on. And apart to this, the direct shortcut for the resolution tools or advanced settings. So all in all, there is no problem with the quick settings. So after quick setting, now let's discuss on the default tab shift with this particular room. So these all are the default tabs like audio effects that I have discussed in the sound section, inbuilt music player, recorder, and so on. Apart to this, the FM radio is also working fine. So if some users do ask, so it is working fine. There is no problem with that. So after default app ships, now let's talk about play protection certification. So by default it is devices certified, so I haven't done it like from my side forcefully. So this will be provided you by default whenever you will be installing this particular ROM or flashing this particular ROM. Now apart of this, now let's verify which is the at least or a least firmware which you have to install. So it is by default it is 061, and I am also using the same so that I will be able to know what are the things which are working and what's the overall analysis and so on. And apart of this, if you are not familiar about this particular utility, then I will be providing you the URL in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. So now let's focus on the status of Camera 2 API. So by default, it is providing us level 3 support. So all the Gcam 7.x are working absolutely fine, and I'll be discussing that in the preceding step. Apart to this like status of Widevine certification, so at my side it is L3 and it has been persisting since the time I have flashed Android 10 beta 407 version in TWRP mode. So I haven't got this back, but at your side if it is L1 then it will surely be L1 at this particular ROM as well. Now apart to this, there is a bummer with the stock camera. The good thing was that they have provided Google Camera Go, but each and every time it is asking this, and whenever I'll be clicking here, I have already provided all the vital permission, and let me do it again and I'll show you that. So now I've again provided all the permissions, and let me close it from the background. Okay, so let me open again, and again it is asking for the same thing. Now again I'll show you permission, and all the permissions are already allowed. So I've already communicated this part to the developer in the Telegram group. Now apart to this, Gcam 7.x is working absolutely fine, so there is no problem with that, and I'll be providing you the URL in the section when we will be discussing blog for the installation part. So now let's focus on the benchmark scores. So for that, firstly let me open Antutu scores. So this is the overall score, that is 1,47,103, and the below ones are the consolidated on the basis of CPU, GPU, memory management, and UX, and so on. Apart to this, I have also analyzed the Geekbench 5 benchmark scores. So let me open that as well. So from the single core score, it has shown 281. From the multi-core score, it is 1232. Apart to this, from the computation part using OpenCL, it is showing 444. The bad part is that again, computation using Vulkan API is not working at our side, and it has been not working since last 2 or 3 months. So whenever it will be available, I'll surely be covering that part as well. So after benchmarks and scores, now let's move to the RAM and memory management. So before starting with the status of Camera 2 API, I have like refreshed the apps in the background to see how it was working so that I can cover up the same part in the RAM and main memory management part. So for that, we'll start with the recently launched apps like, let me open first PUBG Mobile. So it is opening from the same screen where I've left over. So as I've told you that before starting the status of Camera 2 API, I've refreshed so that I can see that whether it is working fine or not during the video compilation part. So there is no problem with that. Let me open Call of Duty as well. So again, it is opening from the same screen where I have left over. So overall, there is no problem with the RAM and memory management, and I haven't seen any problem with the RAM and memory management in any of the custom ROM whatsoever I'm testing it now. At most you will be getting memory management or RAM management up to 10 minutes at like as in butter smooth. After 10 minutes it usually depends upon OS and so on, like how it will treat, whether it will be flushing it and will be restarting again and so on. Although we have already covered bunch of bugs which are not working and so on, but there is one annoying bug which is relating to this part. So this is related to Google Assistant, like OK Google model update. So updating voice model to better recognize when you say Google OK Google. So this particular error will always be persisting at your side, and even I have already like posted this in the like Telegram group as well. So hopefully we'll be getting the resolution in the next update as well. So this will be like annoying I would say sort of bug, but you can clear it out, so there is no problem with that. So now let's focus on the overall review score. So in the initial time I've told you that I'm a fanboy of Resurrection Remix. So but with respect to like I will be providing my unbiased review. So for overall review part I'm just giving it 75 out of 100 because of the underlying bugs and things like screencasting is not working and some other things as well. But overall, if you will be considering like initial, or I would say second after the initial build, so this ROM is working absolutely fine. The good thing is decent, or I would say good battery backup, good charging time, call recorder available, and so on. Now let's focus on the installation part. So for that, let me open the Chrome browser first. So I have already created a dedicated article on my official blog. The URL for the same will be provided to you in the description box below so that you can go over afterward. So nothing major has been mentioned here. Few things like how to download things like links for downloading the ROM and other resources. First link is related to the ROM, so need to flash GApps separately. That's why we have a GApps version as well, that is nano version. So to downloading the ROM, just tap it here and it will download. To download the GApps, just click it here and it will download. If you want to root your phone, then you can also install Magix V 20.4. A part of this is a link for the Gcam 7.x version, which is I am using at my site. So as I mentioned that I'll be providing you in the installation part, so this is what that link. A part of this, before we jump into the installation part, there are a few prerequisites like backup your data, charge your phone's battery at least 50% or more, but I always recommend 80%, and you can even view like 93 at my side. So minimum firmware version required is 0.61, and I've already confirmed you that if you want to view more videos on the same, then you can refer the same on our YouTube channel. Bootloader should be installed, like unlocked. TWRP custom recovery should be installed, so helping videos are already provided here. Finally, the installation of ROM. Firstly, format the data in TWRP recovery mode. Again, just take a backup before doing that. Afterward, wipe cache, Dalvik data and system vendor partition is optional. Install or flash the Resurrection Remix 8.58 ROM and install or flash the GApps. From developer side, he mentioned that use Orange Fox recovery, but I am using TWRP. If you have Orange Fox recovery, then you can install that and do the installation using that. A part of this, reboot your phone and finally enjoy the beauty of Resurrection Remix 8.5.8 ROM on Asus Zenfone Max Pro M1 with the Android 10 build. And below ones are our social handle. You can subscribe to us, follow us, and we'll try our level best to respond to you there. So now let's move to the recovery part or installation part. So for that, I'm just clicking on advanced recovery, and now my phone will be directly boot to the TWRP recovery mode. So we have been successfully booted to the TWRP recovery mode. So this is a home screen. As per blog instruction, firstly you have to tap on wipe. Before doing anything, just take a backup just for the precautionary note again. So firstly you have to tap on format data. So to confirm, you have to type yes and click on blue tick, and it will take hardly 10 to 15 seconds to format data. And afterward you have to move back until unless you move to this screen. Now you have to tap on advanced wipe. Here you have to select 4 different partition. One is Dalvik, cache, data, and system. Vendor partition is optional if you want to. Swipe to wipe it. Again, it will take at most 5 seconds to do that part. Back until unless you move to the home screen of a TWRP recovery mode. This time you have to click on install button, and afterward you have to select storage. At my side I'm using micro SD card, that's why I've selected this. If you're using OTG pen drive, then you can use that. Just select it, and afterward just move to the folder wherever you have downloaded that particular ROM file and GApps file. So at my side it is this part, Resurrection Remix. Just swipe to confirm flash. So again 061 is the minimum or a least firmware that you need to flash this from ROM. So just wait, it will take hardly 4 to 5 seconds to complete this part. So finally the ROM installation is completed. Now we are having two options. One is reboot system and another is wipe cache. So I always prefer to use wipe cache LV. But at this moment we won't be doing reboot system because we have to install the GApps. So this is the second file, that is GApps. Just swipe to confirm flash. Again it will take 5 to 6 minutes at most to complete the overall, and afterward our phone will be restarted and we will continue with the phone setup process. So finally the GApps installation is also completed. Now again we are having two options, reboot system or wipe cache Dalvik. So I'll always prefer, so that it will be deleting all the junk files which have been created while doing these installation. Now we are good to go with the reboot system. Now it will take 2 to 3 minutes to initiate the phone setup process, and it will show you the login, I would say logo or animation for the Resurrection Remix. So just wait for that particular time. So finally we are able to view that particular logo animation from the Resurrection Remix, two different R. So we have to just wait for 2 to 3 more minutes. So finally the phone setup process has been initiated. So on the basis of my mobile service, it has detected English India. So tap on start, afterward just selecting according to my choice or liking. So let me enter the Wi-Fi credentials and we'll move further on. So after successfully entering the Wi-Fi credential, now it is checking for the update. So if there will be any minor or major payload or upload would be pending here, so that will be downloaded and it will be installed here. So we have been moved to the next section, which is don't copy or next. So for the convenience part, I'm just selecting don't copy. But if you want to get the backup from the Google Cloud platform, then you can tap on that particular next button. So this is a vital part. You should be aware about that pin that you were using before flashing this ROM. So let me enter, otherwise it will be asking you to sign in with the Google account which was associated with the previous ROM or OS. So for now I'm just skipping the Google account setup so that we can cut down the time. So this is again Google settings. So let me try to finish it as soon as possible. I'm just going to select the pin and we'll skip the fingerprint scanner again to cut down the time, and I've already tested it and I've already told you. So this is adding the financial final touching ROS feature. Do you want to help? So at this moment I'm just unselecting this. So this is the very last part. So by default you will be booted with this particular ROM with this layout, and this is what we are getting again as well, that particular OK Google update model and so on. And apart to this, let me confirm you one more thing in terms of photo updater as well. So I purposely installed the older version to see, so that I can show you that latest version is available. So this is the latest version, but on the blog I have provided you the latest link. So that's why whenever you will be installing, it will not be showing you this part, because in the previous version this was a default camera, but with the latest version they have updated to the Google Camera Go, which is not working. So this is again the same default structure or a default app shipped with this particular ROM. Hope you like this video. If you really like this video, kindly share this with your friends and family, and apart from this, please subscribe to our channel, because this will surely motivate us and boost us to create more videos like this in the coming future. Finally, it's the time to sign off now. Bye for now. Thanks.